and then we'll just do silence for 1 or 2 minutes. Tonight we're going to do a real mandala offering. And, you know, the old books say that the plate should be 1 cubit long. So we're going to use a real plate. Can you hand them out, Presley?
Yeah.
I'll stall for time while she hands them out.
Teresa, would you help me?
And I thought it would be nice if you actually practice doing the visualization slowly. So we're going to take maybe an hour to do a 2-minute mandala. Okay? And each one of you is getting a book, which I write hot off the press in the kitchen downstairs. They're down there putting them together. And this is an offering mandala book. And in there you'll find, what will you find? The first page is the prayer that we do before class.
Sorry.
Second page is the short mandala offering, okay, which is what we do before class and after class. The one before class is for what reason? You're offering, we don't hit you up for $10, we hit you up for the entire universe. So before class, you have to offer the entire universe. That's the admission price. Okay, so that's the one that you do before class. And then you have your class, and then after class you give another universe. We hit you up twice. And that's for what? That's a thank you mandala. Okay, Thanksgiving mandala. So that's the short mandala that you see there. It's actually what we call the 23-pile mandala offering. We're not going to do any piles for that. Then you're going to have the extensive mandala offering, which is 37 different little heaps of stuff that you pile on the mandala in Tibetan, and then you're going to have it in English. Here. And then you get a commentary which our root Lama Rinpoche gave about 24 years ago on the mandala offering. And that's all in English. That was translated by Art Engel. And then a bunch of different people helped to edit it and print it out. So you get the whole commentary, his whole commentary to the mandala offering in English. And then finally you get a commentary, a new commentary that we just recovered by a Lama named Quicksilver, who was born around the time of the American Revolution. And he wrote a beautiful commentary on what to visualize. Rinpoche's commentary is more on the meaning of the mandala, and then Quicksilver's commentary is more on, what kind of picture are you supposed to make in your mind as you open the mandala. Okay? So you're going to get that text. Now, if you can help us defray the cost, it's free, okay? If you can help us defray the cost, you can stick some moolah in the box downstairs, okay? But you don't have to, you can have the whole thing for free, okay? We all go broke that way, it's fun. And what I'm going to do is, each person will have a plate, hopefully. And you're either going to get flowers or rice. Okay, that's to represent gold dust, all right?
Millet.
We couldn't find a sponsor.
We have millet.
Oh, millet. We couldn't find a sponsor for the gold dust. So, we're going to offer flowers and millet. And then the books are going on. So, and I think we'll offer it in English. That'll be in your book. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to call on one person. I'll do the beginning, okay? And then somebody else can get up. We'll go through the 37 piles, and it'll be one person each. So 37 people have to get up and go through. And you just read it straight out of the book. You tell us, because we're going to have our hands full. Okay? So we'll just pass the book around there. Okay? And somebody can stand up. And they're going to tell you what you're offering next. So they'll say, pile number 2, put it in the middle, and close your eyes, and they'll tell you what to visualize. We just thought it'd be nice to really do it once. If you have time after class, somebody has done a cake, a birthday cake, in the form of a mandala, and they did a pretty good job. So if you're interested, after class, especially the offering goddesses are really foxy, so if you have time after class.
We also have cloth for people to put the flowers in, so you know what I'm
You put
getting.
the cloth on your lap, and then you put the flowers in there. And it just keeps the flowers from falling all over the floor as you're offering them. And Leon gave us permission to make a mess tonight. So don't be shy.
Volunteers will be asked to clean up afterwards.
Does everyone have books? No, not yet.
By the way, it's the books for now for older students. Do we have enough for everybody?
Elizabeth, do you want to bring some flowers up here?
Sure. If anybody doesn't get a book, they can talk to me during the break, and I can make sure that.
I don't think we can do it right.
Or after class.
There should be.
What do you want? Does anyone need a cloth? No. Who needs flowers?
So take.
You guys can too.
Catch up.
Move up a little bit. They have a cross.
Does anyone need cloth? Do you make it like
Yes, sir.
By the way, you won't need your book, okay? You will not need your book.
we have more cloth?
Millet, anyone?
Do you have some flowers in it?
That's right.
Anybody needs cloth?
You're back here.
Flowers. Just get this first. You're gonna get
Flowers are
Yeah. You don't have a cloth? Millet? Just take it. Use your both hands. Use both hands.
No, that's good. Just one hand.
Do you have more flowers?
Oh, we can just get the other base. We do this every week.
I'd also like to thank everybody who helped work on that. Scott Bramlett translated the text. He finished at 2 a.m. last night. then Aura worked on the text this afternoon until 5:30. When she ran to the Xerox place and started Xerox. Elizabeth and Aura, Anila and Michael Big. Took care of, they took up grubbing up the flowers and all the plates and the millet and all that stuff. And Tussie did some. Anybody else?
Oh my God.
Thanks to 56 folks. Okay, first thing before anything, you hold this in your left hand, upside down. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. You gotta grab a little bit in your left hand before you pick it up. So you got a little bit of stuff in your left hand before you pick up the plate. And you sprinkle a little bit on the plate, and you rub it off with your right forearm. 3 times in a clockwise. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And that's to, and then you imagine that you're purifying your practice, okay? Like all the bad things I said today, you know who you were. I just cleared it all away. So my conscience is clean when I start my mandala. Then you do 3 counterclockwise with your right forearm. Yeah, sprinkle a little bit. And 3 in. And that's like collecting all the good energy of the universe, okay? Collecting all that good energy in. Like if somebody else did anything good today, not like me, I'm collecting that energy. I'm rejoicing in other people's good energy. Then the leader says, he says Shinkan Buagyo, which means let's offer. How about let's offer a Buddha Gyo? How about let's offer a Buddha paradise? Okay, Shinkan Buagyo. So that means you're getting ready. Okay? Okay, Om Vajra, say Om. Om Vajra Bhumi. Vajra Bhumi. Ahum. And I'm going to use the English translation. I don't know. Here is the mighty ground of gold. Okay. So, first say, here is the mighty ground of gold. Here is the mighty ground of gold. And then just imagine it in your mind. Okay? Imagine that this is it's about the size of the Milky Way. Okay? A little bit larger actually. And imagine a gold plate the size of the Milky Way. Below it is this huge vortex of wind, right? And then you have a golden plate the size of the Milky Way. So just imagine it. So imagine that the space between your 2 hands is as big as the Milky Way. When you say Sanskrit, Om. Say Om. Om. Vajra. Vajra. Reki. Ahum. In English, it's here is the surrounding. Here is the surrounding. Outer wall. Outer wall. Of mountains. Of mountains. And then you put a little wall around the edge of that goal. It's a chain of mountains made of iron. This is a whole wall of mountains made of iron that are on the outside edge of the mandala plate. Huge mountain range made of iron. Yeah. He wants me to put the mic. I woke up very Okay. Better? I'll go straight to the comments. And I'm going to have different people read it as you put it down. Now it's pile number 1 of 37. Okay? So you pick up another pile and you say, in the center is Summit, King of Mountains. So put one pile right in the center, and that's going to be Mount Meru. Okay? And as it says here, it's about 360,000 miles high. All right, so try to imagine a mountain about 360,000 miles high in the center. Okay. And in between the Iron Mountains, which is around the edge, and Mount Meru, which is in the middle, right now you can visualize it as filled with water. And that water, think of it as happiness. Okay? The water is happiness, and it's covering the entire universe. Okay? So the whole universe is 360,000 miles deep in water, and that water represents happiness. Now set a pile, take another pile, and put it on the edge of the mandala near you, towards the outside. Okay, it's inside of the edge, but it's pretty far out towards you. Okay, one pile there. That's the east. Okay, it's the corner nearest to you. And you say, to the east? To the east. Is Great Body. And this is a special island where people live. Okay, certain kinds of people. So close your eyes and imagine an island, and I'll tell you the size of it. It's shaped like a half moon, and it's white color. So think of a huge continent. And by the way, you have to, when you offer the mandala, you have to get into the mood of changing. What do you call it? Shifting up and down the focus. Like first it's 10x, 20x, 200x. You're going up and down in focus. Okay. So now. Actually, this continent, this half-moon white-colored continent is close to you. On your plate, it's about ½ an inch wide. And on here, it's about, each corner of it is 9,000 miles across. So you can shift your focus in and out. You know, at one moment, you can think of it as ½ an inch, and then you can think of it as 10,000 miles long, like as big as America, say. All right? So do that. Try to focus on it inside your hands, but it's 10,000 miles on each corner. The straight part of the half moon faces towards Mount Meru, and the curved side faces towards you. Now we're on pile number 3, and you put it to your left, okay? That's south, and you say, to the south, is Zambu. So that's another continent. That continent is blue, and it's almost triangular, but the tip of the triangle is cut off slightly, and the short side is facing. Let me see. Is facing the Iron Mountains. Okay. So it's almost like a triangle with the tip facing the Iron Mountains, and it's blue. Okay. Each side is 9,000 miles long. Now you place a pile to the west, which is which way? Away from you, okay? Towards the rim. And you say, to the west, is cattle. And that's an island where they use cattle. It's round in shape. It's golden in color. And it's about 34,000 miles across. If you zoom up in focus and focus on the whole ocean, between the mountain, the outer mountain and the inner mountain, you probably can't not see the continents. They're so small. Okay? They're surrounded by a huge amount of ocean. Okay? But then if you zoom in, it's very big. Now you put a pile to the north, which is which way? Off to your right hand, okay? And you say, to the north, is sound of terror. Why is that continent called sound of terror?
They hear a voice.
And then there's a sound of terror when you die.
Yeah, they live 500 years, and then just before they're very happy because they don't have any major problems. And in fact, they're so happy they can't study Dharma. To study Dharma, you have to have some disasters in your life. So you should pray for a good disaster that doesn't kill you, okay? And they can't practice Dharma because they don't have enough suffering on their continent. But then just a few days before they die, they start hearing this voice that comes from the sky that says, time's up. And they start getting, the suffering they experience right after that is very severe. And that's why it's called sound of terror. Okay. It says 7 days in advance of their death. It says yellow in color and square in shape. Okay. Each side 9,000 miles. So try to picture that off to your right. Now, piles number 6 to 13, they come really fast, okay? And I'm going to do Tibetan for a while, because I don't know, I think most of you are going to hear it in Tibetan. Okay? We'll do the subcontinents in Tibetan. Okay? Say Ludang, Lupak, Ludang, Lupak. That means body and great body. And these, you start, let's see. It's going to be around the eastern continent, and you start from your southeast, okay, which is your left, slightly to the left of the first pile you put down. Got it?
Yeah.
It's about 7 o'clock. 7:30? Am I right? If you're looking down at a clock, it's around 7:30. That's Lu. And then Lupak is around 5 o'clock. Okay, so you put one pile down at 7:30, and you put one pile down around 5 or 4:30. I'm always late. All right. And those are similar to the original island, which was what shape? Half moon. What color? White. And they're just a little smaller. Okay, 2 subcontinents. Lu dan Lupak. Then say Ngayab Danni, Ngayab Shen. And these are 2 subcontinents for the next continent, which is which one? Southern continent. Okay, Ozambali. Okay, which is off around what o'clock? 9 o'clock. Okay, so you overrun 9 o'clock and then you come back. Okay, so you go to 10 o'clock, put one down at 10 o'clock, and then put one down at 8 o'clock. And those are the 2 subcontinents that are on either side of the continent you put down in the first place. Okay. Got it? Okay? People look a little confused. You're creating the world here, you better do it right. You always thought it was somebody else. Okay. So you then you say Yonden, Dang, Lam Chongdo. 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock. First 1 o'clock, then 11 o'clock. And those are the 2 subcontinents of the Western continent. What color was the Western continent? Huh? We got all colors. Gold color and, no, it's yellow? Gold and round. Yonden Dan Lam Chodo. You okay? No, we were on Western. Okay, now we're moving to the northern continent, which is, where did it went down at 3 o'clock, right? Now we're putting the subcontinents. So you overrun it and then you come back. So 4 o'clock and 2 o'clock. 4 o'clock first, then 2 o'clock. And you say, Draminyan, Dang, Draminyan Ki, Da. Okay. We have 13 piles down. So you're about 1/3 of the way through creating the universe. Okay. It's not very hard. You don't have to rest on the 7th day. Okay. Now you do another pile. You're going to start out in the east again, which is where? 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Now this pile goes in just a touch. Okay, if you've got a 6-inch 5 plate, it's not going to be much difference. Okay, but in your mind, thinking it's. By the way, this is all in your mind that you're throwing it. This is closer in towards the Mount Meru. It's closer in towards the main mountain. It's probably going to fall in the ocean somewhere. Okay, and you say Rinpoche, Riwo. Okay, which means here is the jewel mountain, and it's a whole mountain of jewels, and those jewels have the quality of giving you. Well, it doesn't say that, but it's just a huge mountain of jewels: sapphires, diamonds, emeralds. So try to close your eyes and picture a huge mountain of jewels that you just laid down. It's actually on top of the continent there, on the eastern continent. That mountain is sitting on the eastern continent. It's covering the eastern continent. A mountain of diamonds, rubies, sapphires, 10,000 miles wide, okay? Now you're going to dump one on the next continent, okay? Say Paksam, Ki, Shing. Paksam, Ki, Shing. You're going to dump this at 9 o'clock, okay? To the south. This is the wish-giving tree, and I'll describe it to you from the commentary. Its roots are made of gold, the trunk is made of silver, the branches are lapis lazuli, and the leaves are crystal. The middle of the flowers are formed of a jewel named Puk, and I have no idea what Puk looks like. And the corolla is red pearl. Okay. The fruits of the tree are emerald. Okay. And this tree, you stand in front of the tree. It's like an Aladdin's lamp, but you don't have to rub it. You just stand there, and you close your eyes, and anything you wish grows on the tree. Like you say, my robe's getting a little ratty. I don't feel like going to the laundromat. You know, I like a new robe. And it would just grow off the tree and fall down, and you just pick it up. Or you say, I want a Mercedes-Benz. Just grows off the tree, comes down, lands there, and you just get in and drive around. Okay? So anything you want, you can wish for from this tree. Okay, so try to imagine a tree like that. It's about 10,000 miles wide. Another commentary says, do these trees really exist? Maybe not. Are they really 10,000 miles wide? Well, if they don't exist, you can't talk about how wide they are. But the point is that it's the act of offering. Okay, it's the act of imagining it and offering it to your Lama. Tonight, I'd like to suggest that we offer it for the long life of Khen Rinpoche, okay, for Root Lama. He's pretty old now, and it would be there's a certain energy to doing a mandala offering together. You know, if there's 30 or 40 minds in this room, and all those minds are trying to picture the same thing, it has a certain energy, and it has a certain effect. And if 30 or 40 minds are imagining a wish-giving tree, and offering it to this Lama, and asking him to have a longer life, then it has its own effect. It really does work. Long story how it works, but we can study that sometime. Okay? But it does work. Mainly because you collect good energy. You collect good karma yourself. So as you do this offering, try to think of Khen Rinpoche's long life. Try to dedicate it to that. I request that. I think the Yankees just won the World Series. Okay. Say Dujay Ba. Dujay Ba. What o'clock? It's on top of the next continent. 12 o'clock. Okay? It's on top of 12 o'clock. And this is the wish-granting cow. Okay, the cow that gives you anything you want. I'll describe it to you. Her horns are made of diamond. Her hooves are sapphire. And her tail is made of the same stuff that the tree of wishes is made of. Okay? Her body is gold color with some redness to it. And when you look at her, it seems like she's as big as Mount Meru. Okay? So try to imagine this cow. Anything you want, you can get out of her. Okay, now put a pile down at 3 o'clock. You just smothered the northern continent. And say, Mama Pai, Loto. Mama Pai, Loto. These are crops that grow themselves. Okay, a very special kind of rice and other grains. And they just grow themselves. They plant themselves, and they grow themselves. And they fertilize themselves, and they weed themselves. Okay? And they just appear there. And they have a special quality that when you go and harvest them, like if you go in the morning and take a knife and cut the crops and take them home, and you come back in the evening, it's all grown back already. Okay? If you cut them in the evening and come back in the morning, it's grown back already. So it never looks like anyone's been cutting it. Okay? So imagine field after 10,000 miles of field after field, after green field after green field after green field of some special crops that grow themselves and feed everyone living there automatically. Okay? So imagine that. Okay? Okay, now we're back to square one again, which is where? East, right in front of you, 6 o'clock. And we're going to start offering the 7 riches of the king. This king is president of the planet, okay? It's called Kolegyuri Gyapo. And because they own a certain kind of wheel, they control the whole planet. Okay? So you say Korlo? Korlo. Rinpoche. Rinpoche. Korlo? Korlo. Rinpoche. Rinpoche. Over the eastern continent, in the sky. Okay, put a pile there, and then imagine that in the sky, over that continent, over that is a giant golden spaceship. Okay, it looks like and this is from ancient scripture. This is 500 BC. Okay, it has a rim around the side, like a space station. It has spokes coming in towards the center. And it has a central, control center in the middle. Okay, and that's called the precious wheel. And I'll describe it from this ancient source. It's about 2,250 miles in diameter. It shines with the light of the sun itself. It has the ability to rise up into the sky, and in a single day can travel 450,000 miles. It empowers the king of the world because he can take all his 4 armed forces, get into this contraption, and fly in the air to all the other continents of the world. Okay? And then the last thing it says is, picture this in the sky over the eastern continent, but then multiply it infinitely. Like, imagine that the whole sky, if you were standing on the eastern continent and you looked up, the whole sky would be covered with these machines, with these beautiful golden-colored, magical UFOs that can take thousands and thousands of people anywhere they want to go, 500,000 miles in a single day. Okay, and this is a very precious thing, and it's one of the main possessions if you want to be the emperor of the world. Okay, and just imagine the whole sky covered with them over the eastern continent, and put a pile down as you do it. Then say Norbu, Rinpoche. Norbu, Rinpoche. This is called the precious jewel, and I'll describe it to you. It's made of blue lapis lazuli. It has 8 facets on each side, on 8 sides. And it can, when it shines, it's up in the air over the next continent, which is where? South, which is which o'clock? 9 o'clock. Okay, it's this huge jewel in the sky. And it has the ability to light with its light a distance of 500 miles. So that light goes out 500 miles. The light from the jewel. It's a blue jewel. Okay? And the light has a special quality. When it's summertime in New York and that light strikes your body, you feel cool, as if it's air conditioning. Okay? And when it's today in New York and that light just touches your body, you feel very warm. You feel like you have a very thick jacket on. Okay, it has that quality. That light has that quality. It switches to whatever you need. Anyone standing within that 500-mile area can never be ill, can never be sick, and can never be unhappy again. Okay? And then it's called a baksam. It means that jewel can give you anything you wish. You know, you can look up at that jewel and say, you know, I wish nobody in the world would need Tylenol today, or something like that. I mean, you can make any kind of wish you want. And you make some kind of wish towards that jewel, and it will happen. Okay? So think of a jewel like that. It's actually standing over which continent? Which is our continent. It's where we live. And it's high up in the sky. And then multiply it. Okay? Don't make it one jewel. It's like a whole army of jewels. It's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jewels covering the whole sky. Okay? So imagine that over the southern continent. Next, say Tsumo. Tsumo. Rinpoche. Rinpoche. Tsumo. Tsumo. Rinpoche. This offering is over what o'clock? 12 o'clock. Okay, you're off to the west now. You're dumping it towards in the direction of the western continent. Tsumo Rinpoche means the precious queen. She's very, very beautiful. Her body exudes some kind of a sweet smell. When she talks, out of her mouth comes some very sweet smell, like a flower's fragrance. And any city or any state or country in which she lives, then everyone who lives there automatically feels happy. And they never feel hunger or thirst or any kind of suffering. So any place where she lives, it's that kind of effect. Okay, so imagine a woman like that, and she's the queen of the king. And she's standing up in the sky. And once you get one of her straight, then make her like a billion. Okay? Cover the whole sky with these glorious queens. It's getting crowded, right? By the way, we're gonna get to it in the commentary at the end, but I'll just let you know now. I'm giving you the outer appearance of all these things. Okay, I'm giving you what they look like from the outside. But if you took a knife and cut her open, you know, if you took a knife and you made a little cut in her skin, and you looked inside, what would she be made of? And if you could take Mount Meru and take an axe and put a little nick in it and look inside, what's it made of? Okay. Say Lu, Longchu, Getsoche. It should sound familiar. Okay. Lu, Longchu, Getsoche. So you have to distinguish, and by the way, at the very end, Dharmabhadra says, don't get hung up on the words. Understand the meaning. You know, he says, don't get hung up in the words. The word in Tibetan is don't get entangled in the words. Think of what you're offering. Okay, they don't need a precious queen. Your root lama doesn't need a precious queen. Your root lama already is a precious queen. But anyway, that's another story. The stuff that you're offering looks like a queen, but what she's made of is Lu Longchu Geto. Lu means your own body. Okay, you're making this ultimate offering. You're offering your own body. In one sense, you can say you're offering to be a servant of this Lama, and by extension, of every living creature. You're saying, okay, take me, I'm yours. You know, do with me what you want. You know, you're offering your own blood, your own bones, your own skin, and you're saying, you know, come and use it for whatever you want. You know, you want me to go help poor people, or you want me to go do some good thing somewhere, it's yours. You know, I'm your servant. You know, and you're offering your body in that sense. You're offering also what it's made of, the blood, the channels, all of the things in your body you're offering. So Longju means all the money, all the possessions you own. Okay? Most of us, it ain't much, okay? We'd like it to be more, no. But whatever you own, like I have a laptop I like, I have a bed, stuff like some blankets, whatever, robes. And you're offering all the things that you possess. So that queen looks like a queen, but she's made up so far of my body, and she's made of, the stuff she's made of is my body and my possessions. And then say, Getzo. Getzo. Getzo means any good thing I have ever done in my lives, any good thing I'm doing nowadays, any good thing I'm going to do in the future, any good thought or word or action that I've ever done, I'm offering you that. That's the only thing that makes a lama happy, actually. That's all you have to offer them. They don't want anything else. They don't need anything else. They want you to be happy. So you're offering them the best thing you own, which is your goodness. So you're offering that. Those are the three ingredients that the queen is made of. So if you cut her open and you looked inside, if they had to label the contents on her, 10% this, 30% that, calories, it would say, what's this made of? Michael Roach's body, his laptop, and his good deeds, as few as they may be, and that's what she's made of. Okay, so that's what the offering is made of. Okay, it looks like a queen. Okay. All right, next one say, who's next? Lumbo Rinpoche. Lumbo Rinpoche. Okay, that means the precious chancellor. He's like a secretary of state for the king. And I'll give you his description. He's so wealthy that he can keep the king's treasury full of mullah and full of grains. Okay, totally trustworthy, cannot lie, cannot cheat anyone. Loves the people of the country, treats them all well. Everyone loves him. Conducts all the affairs of the king with great wisdom, whether it's dharma or secular things. Okay, both. Possesses what we call Klaimit. Klaimit means he can see to a distance, it says here, 500 miles, and see all the problems that anyone's experiencing. Got a tax problem in Brooklyn? He's there. He goes there. He knows you're having a tax problem. He comes to ask you, can I help you? He's just a great manager of the country. Okay. So I know it's hard, but try to imagine a chancellor like that, and put a countless number of them. Where is he, by the way? Over the northern county, which is what o'clock? 3 o'clock. Okay, he's hanging out in space, in the sky at 3 o'clock, standing there. Get him straight, and then make 1 billion of him standing there. Okay, next say Langbo Rinpoche. Langbo Rinpoche. Langbo is a big elephant, all right? Has the strength of 1,000 elephants, pure white color, 6 tusks, 3 on each side. I think they go like that. Okay. And the ability, in one day has the ability to travel 3 times around the entire planet. Can be led around on a thread. Okay, as powerful as 1,000 elephants, but if you just put one thread around him, you can lead him around. He's that cooperative. Okay, when he walks around, he tries not to step on any bugs. Like he's huge, but he's like walking very carefully, and he doesn't want to shake his rider. And when the rider is going to think, maybe I should go uptown, the elephant turns uptown. The rider doesn't have to say anything. The elephant has the ability to read the rider's thoughts. It's called changshe. Okay. So even before the rider says anything, the elephant already turned uptown. Okay. Also has the ability to fly and to travel on water. Okay. And if the king of the world has to fight anybody, he's very good at leading him to the water and fighting. Doesn't need a ship, doesn't need airplanes. Got your own Langbo Rinpoche. Okay, so imagine that elephant in the sky over the north, over your right hand, right, 3 o'clock, and countless number. Okay. Is it 3 o'clock? 6 o'clock. Sorry. I'm sorry, I blew it. Southwest, southeast, which is 7 o'clock. Sorry. 7:30, right? 7:30. Somewhere between 7 and 8, okay? Southeast. So we went east, south, west, north, and then we skipped to southeast. We went from 3 o'clock to 7:30. Right? Right. We're on pile number 23. Say, Tacho Rinpoche. Tacho Rinpoche. This is the precious horse, and he's to the southwest, which is 10:30? 10:30. He's big, he's wide, he can travel the planet in 3 days, travel around the planet 3 times in a day, etc. Put him in the southwest, and then multiply him by 1 billion in the sky. Who's he bumping into? That's a tough question. Who's already there? Who's at 9 and who's at 12? I don't know. Didn't we have Noble, the jewel, and the queen? So he's bumping into all those precious jewels on one side and all those queens on the other side. They got to move over a little bit, and you put the horse in between them. Okay? By the way, when you get to the secret teachings, you're going to have to do this kind of thing all the time. So you might as well get used to it now. You know. All right. She said they could fly at different altitudes. They wouldn't bump into. Then say Makpan Rinpoche. Makpan Rinpoche. He's probably at 1:30. He's bumping into the queen on one side and the chancellor, or the minister on the other side. Okay. What's he like? Never hurts anybody. Not much of a general. Never does anything that's not spiritual. Does any good deed. Understands the wishes of the king before the king says anything. And is very skilled in the art of war. In the Abhidharma, they make the distinction between making war and getting ready to make war. Because the world kings never hurt anybody. But they might put a bunch of soldiers out there to get people to cooperate. They threaten people, but they don't hurt anybody. Okay. So imagine a great mass of generals like that at 1:30, in the sky, covering the sky. All those Schwarzkopfs up there. We're up to 25. Say Terchen Bui. Bumpa. Okay, that's at 4:30. Okay, 4:30. And this is a special vase. It gives you anything you want. I mean, inside a small vase can fit the wishes of the entire planet. Okay, so imagine a little, like an Arizona iced tea bottle. And I like those ginseng ones, the deep blue. And inside, you can fit anything that anybody in the whole world would like to have. And if they wanted it, you could just take it out and give them to them. Okay? And then cover the whole sky with those vases. Okay? So imagine a vase like that. 4:30, right? We finished 7 precious things of the king, And this makes number 8, just so you round out the ordinal directions, okay? Okay, we're on to 26. It's going to start at ground zero. Where's that? East, okay? Towards you. Little bit closer in towards the center, all right? And you say gegmo. Gegmo. That's what the text says. Okay, oral instruction is gemoma. Say gemoma. 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 Gemoma is we're starting the 8 offering goddesses, okay? Very beautiful, enlightened beings, angels, okay? And this first one is white. Her hands are clasped in a fist, which is called the vajra. It's called the mudra of ferocity, okay? And in each of them, she has a vajra, okay? A vajra, 5-point vajra. And then she's moving. She's called the lady of poses. So she's like a vogue, you know. She's taking these poses, all right? I can't do it. And she has her head a little bit cocked to the left, and she's cocky. Okay, she's very, very self-confident, you know, very, very like that. Okay, and she's fierce. Okay, in one moment she is both a model, and she's also very powerful. Okay? So imagine a woman like that. She's offering the poses to that lama. Okay, but she's not a normal Ford model. She's very powerful. And she's offering this pose to the lama. And you put her over she's actually over towards, closer to the Mount Meru. She's got to get on the other side of what? What was on the eastern continent to start the whole thing? The mountain of jewels. So I try to imagine her a little bit she's in towards Mount Meru, okay? And she's taking her pose, and then multiply her into a billion. Okay? In the sky. She's over the sky. She's in the sky. So put down your pile and imagine that. Then say Chawama. 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 Okay, Chawama means Lady of the Rosary, or the Angel of the Rosaries. Okay, and her body color is yellow, and she's holding her hands in the same mudra. It means ferocity, fearfulness. What's another word? I don't know. She's tough. Okay, and in each hand is a rosary made of diamonds, big old, about 6-carat diamonds. Okay. In her hand. In both hands is a rosary of diamond. And they're held out at the level of her shoulders. Okay? And you have to imagine that she's offering empowerment. Okay? She's giving empowerment. Okay? So imagine that over the 9 o'clock, are we? Okay. In a little bit, because she doesn't want to bump into all those jewels. Right? Okay, she's got to be in a little bit further. Towards Mount Meru. Now say Luma. 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 Luma means Lady of the Song. Okay? And she's where? West. 12 o'clock. West. Okay? Her body color is pink. She's holding like a lute in her hand, and she's doing a song. And remember we said she's not doing it in a wimpy way, like she's jamming, you know. She's like really, really wild. She's like Scott put a good word. He said she's in wild abandon. She's playing with wild abandon. Okay? She's forgot the whole world and she's just playing. Okay? She's playing like that. And imagine a great mass of these angels over towards the western country? Western country. What is she going to bump into if she goes out further towards the Iron Mountains? That's too easy. Cows Cal's down on the ground, I think. Queens. Yeah. So imagine about 1 billion of those, okay? Now say Karaman. Karaman. What o'clock? 3 o'clock. Okay, off to your right. Karaman means the lady of dance. Her color is pretty complicated. You want me to do it or not? Yeah? Okay, I'll do it. Face and lower part of her legs are white. You can practice. If you don't practice, you'll never get it. Okay. Her throat and chest are pink. Her midriff and her 2 arms are pale blue. Her thighs are pale yellow. And all the rest of her body, which we couldn't figure out what it was, but maybe it's her back, I was thinking, is all different kinds of blue. In her hand, she holds vajras. And her right hand is above her head. And her left hand is on her hip. Okay. And she's doing all kinds of dances. Okay? She's just dancing like crazy. All right? And then picture one up in the sky. She's up in the sky dancing, like, I don't know, 100 miles high, okay? 8 miles high. And she's dancing. And then get her straight. She's not going to bump into the... She's not going to bump into the chancellor because she's closer to the Mount Meru, okay? And she's dancing like crazy, okay? Get one of her straight, and then multiply her by about 1 billion. By the way, in actual practice, you want to do maybe just one by one. You know, like you could spend 2 days on offering her. You know what I mean? You can't, to do the whole thing will take you an hour and a half. You don't have that much time because you got to go to work. Okay, say metolma. Metolma. Okay, she's to the southeast. Okay, so we're starting again on the cardinal directions at 7:30 because we finished with 3 o'clock. And we jump from 3 o'clock to 7:30. So put a pile down there. It's pile number 30. You're getting close to the end, all right? You say Metolma. Metolma means the lady of flowers, the angel of flowers. Okay? Body is golden. And in her left hand, she's holding a big vessel full of flowers. It has, all these vessels have diamonds on them, vajra. Okay? And she's going like this. Okay? She's throwing flowers out, and they're landing on the people living on all the continents. So she's like throwing this rain of flowers all over all the cities of all the towns, all the countries. She's just throwing flowers, and flowers are raining down. Flower petals are floating down all over the world. Okay? And imagine one of her, and then multiply her by about 1 zillion. Okay? She's not going to bump into...
The elephant.
Was it the elephant? Okay. No problem, because she's closer to Mount Meru. Okay? Now Dupama, say Dupama. 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 She's at 10:30. Right?
Right.
Okay. It's getting hard. Dupama means lady of incense, the angel of incense. She's pure white color. In her right hand, she has an incense pot. Okay. And she's offering it to the lama. She's offering the smoke to your lama. Okay. And with her left hand, she's doing this mudra, and she's going like this. Okay. This means threatening. Okay. Who is she threatening? Do you remember? Your bad thoughts. Okay. All right. Your lama doesn't have any. Okay. There's a big discussion about it. You know, why should you offer her doing that? It's not for your lama. Your lama doesn't have any bad thoughts. She's threatening the bad thoughts in your own heart. Did you have a question?
Where is the lama?
This is a trick, you know. you can imagine that if you do one of her, she's like coming out in space, and the lama can keep shifting around. Everything is relative. And the moment you focus on her offering it, the lama's in front of her. And she's offering it to him. But then you shift back into another focus, and there's zillions of her over that area. So don't think that it's impossible to keep shifting perspectives. The perspectives are constantly shifting. Okay? And it's no problem. I told you the story of there was a monk in Tibet who had a problem doing this practice, and his lama gave him a needle and said, check out the room through the eye of the needle. Look, the whole room could fit in the eye of the needle. And then he got better at it. Then he said, what was it? He had a cup, and he looked down in the cup of water, and the whole sky and the sun was in the cup. And he said, see, no problem. And they're using that to practice perspective. And it's actually a meditation practice. It sharpens your concentration. It helps your meditation. Okay? All right. Next one, say, Nang Sema. Nang Sema. This is a lady of lamp. She's holding a butter lamp. Her body is pink. Her right hand is clenched in a fist and holding a butter lamp like this, okay, up to her left shoulder. And her left, it's crossed, and her left hand is like this at her heart, also in a fist. Okay? And she's standing in the sky at, is it northwest? West end? Yeah. Is it? Yeah. 130. Which is in closer towards Mount Meru, so she won't bump into.
The general.
Is it the chancellor?
The general.
I think it's a general name. I'm not sure. I think it's a general. Okay. It says there's a lot of stuff over there. Okay. Next one.
What color?
Pink. Okay. By the way, you're all going to get this commentary, so you can bring it up. Number 33. Place a pile to the northeast, which is 430. Okay. And say Chichamma. Chichamma. This is a lady of fragrance. Her body is all different colors. Okay. Harlequin color. And with her left hand, she's holding a shell. And inside the shell is this fragrant oil. And with her right hand, she's this is at her heart. The left hand is at her heart with the shell. And with her right hand, she's offering it like this, as if she were smearing it on the body of your lama. Okay? That fragrance. Okay? Like that. Then you picture an infinite number of these ladies at 430. Okay? And that finishes the 8 offering goddesses. Next you go to 34, which is going to start out at ground zero, which is east towards you, a little bit more in towards the center. By now you are banging stuff on top of the golden mountains. Okay, you've covered the rest of the planet. The rest of the planet's all covered with all your offerings. The only space left is in towards those 7 square gold mountains, in towards Mount Meru. Okay, and then you say Nima. Say Nima. Nima. Nima means sun. Okay, and you imagine the sun. You're offering the sun. Sometimes when you see pictures of Mount Meru, you see the sun and the moon like almost at mid-level of the mountain. Okay? Maybe 40,000 miles up in the sky. And towards the east is the sun. It's a great yellow disk of fire. Okay? And then try to visualize like about a zillion of them off to the east side of Mount Meru, in the sky. Okay? So you're closing up on the sky, on Mount Meru. The whole sky now to the east is covered. First there's suns, then there's Gewoma. Foxy ladies, isn't it? Making poses. And then farther out there's spaceships. And farther out is Mountain of Jewels. Okay? If you're really going to do it right. Now, I'm doing it right. You don't have to do it right. But if you do it right, it takes a while.
Spaceships are not Mountain of Jewels?
Yeah.
Usually the mountain comes in tiers, so are there 37 on a different tier?
I believe that the tiers start at the very end. I think we're still on the very first level, if you're using those rings. Okay? The traditional books don't say much about rings. They just do it on a plate like that. Okay? Got it? You okay? Okay, and that's number 34. Stick the sun there. Then say Dawa. Dawa. Dawa means moon. Same thing, but now instead of going around in a circle, you're going to pop to the west. Okay? Up to 12 o'clock. So you're going over Mount Meru and sticking a bunch of moons over on the other side. Countless number of moons. So imagine those, okay? I won't go through what you're going to bump into and all that. You figure it out. All right? Yima, Dawa, yeah.
When you're going around, do you always keep your orientation from
Yeah.
the east, or do you kind of shift around a lot?
You can do both. You can change perspectives as much as you want. But generally, you always think of yourself facing east, and at the mandala's east is facing you. Okay? A little bit tricky.
Are the ladies always facing out?
I don't know. It doesn't say. I think so. I would think so, but I'm not sure. Okay. Maybe not. I'll ask. I'll find out. Okay. Okay, so now we're up to Rinpoche Du. Number 36, okay? Rinpoche Du. Rinpoche Du. This is off to the south, which is 9 o'clock. Okay, 9 o'clock. So you went 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Okay? And this is the precious parasol. Okay? The jeweled parasol. Made of the silk of the gods, white color, has a jewel handle. The ribs are made of gold. And the top, at the very tip, you know that bump on the top is made of sapphire. And then there's a little tassels of pearls coming off the side, strings of pearls around the side. So imagine that. Okay.
What does that symbolize?
I don't know exactly. I think protection. You know, in general, in ancient India, it was a valuable possession of the king to protect him from the sun. But in general, umbrellas represent refuge, which means not screaming back when your boss yells at you. The knowledge that you shouldn't respond to evil with evil. That's the ultimate protection. If you ever study refuge in detail, you'll come. The end is that. The bottom line is that. That's protection. Because when you stop responding to evil with evil, you will get out of your suffering. That's not the umbrella. No, okay. Okay, number 37, last official part. Okay. Say Chole, number, Yahweh, Gansen. Chole number, Yahweh, Gansen. Where is it? You only got one space left. 3 o'clock. There's a little bit of room left at 3 o'clock. Over the 7 mountains. Stick it there. That's a victory banner. Okay? And it's like a half-moon shaped crossbow on top of a pole and 3 flags coming down. 3, what do they call those things? Like 3 panels coming down. Okay. 3 of those shaped things coming down. Okay. And you can read the detail. It's a lot of detail. I'm not going to do it for you, but imagine a bunch of those. That's filled up 3 o'clock. By the way, we do have a tiny little hole somewhere. In the middle, okay? And then you say, Usu hadami, you can see it in the text. Basically, you take every nice thing in the universe and start dumping it in the middle, okay? So all the other things you can think of, and this is where you use up all your stuff, okay? And just go for it. You just keep piling stuff and you're reciting them. Okay, and this is making a huge pile of Christmas presents over Mount Meru. Okay, it's covering an 84,000 mile high mountain. Dida Dinjin Tsawa Tanki Tatsukit Tsawa. Now we got one more step to go. Not that easy. Just for a second, try to imagine separately every single object we just offered. I mean, roughly. Okay? Try to imagine. You know, you've got that whole planet covered with gifts. Okay? Just try to roughly. You can't remember all of them. Remember a bunch of them. Okay? And every square inch of every one of those objects is giving off rays of light. And at the tip of every ray of light is another one of those same objects. And that you're sending out to every holy being who ever lived in the universe. And then when it reaches that being, say your root lama, and they start to see that thing on the tip of a ray of light, which is only the size of a piece of dust, they see it as full size. And then something else happens. In the space of every single atom, of every single object you have now, which is the original objects and zillions of objects on the tips of rays of light coming off of each of the original objects, okay? In the space of each atom of each of those objects is an exact duplicate of each of those objects, the same size as the original object. And then you imagine that all of the lamas who ever lived, all the great spiritual teachers who ever lived, who ever will live, are accepting your gift. They're accepting each one of those objects. They agree. They are kind enough to take them. And then you imagine you're offering all that to Ken Rinpoche for his long life. And then a white light bursts out of his heart and covers your body. And it sinks into your body. And first it removes every kind of illness that you could ever have, like every tiny little cell in your body that might ever become ill is made totally pure. And then also every bad deed you've ever done, anything that's ever been on your conscience, from the very slightest word that you ever said, or the slightest bad thought, or the slightest thought of irritation you had towards someone on the street or on the subway, it all disappears. The white light just blows it away. And then finally, all the spiritual obstacles you have, like any hesitation you have about Dharma, or anything you don't understand about Dharma, any kind of inability to meditate, or any problems you have understanding things or reading things, and finally any problem you have that you're not capable of developing ultimate compassion. You know, any obstacle you have in your own heart that stops you from having total love and compassion for every person you meet is blown away by that white light. Okay, we're gonna, oh, one last thing. If you're asking for a blessing, like if I had a bad day, you dump it in towards you, okay? And if you're making an offering, or especially if you're trying to dispel any negative things, or especially if you're making an offering to your lama, if you want to emphasize the offering part, you dump it, when you dump it out towards them. But if you want to emphasize getting a blessing from them or the ability to overcome some problem you have, dump it in towards you. Okay, so dump it now. And then we're going to do one at regular speed. And Punso's going to be the Umzela. I'll give him a microphone. It's in your book, okay? We'll do it in Tibetan. The pronunciation is there. It's page 3. Okay? So get your book ready somewhere in front of you. I don't know how you're going to flip the page, but we'll see. Okay? Page 3 in your book. Get your mandala plate ready. I'm going to sit down and do mine. One last offering to Rinpoche for his long life, okay? It's been a request to go slow. I'm not that slow. In the beginning, just try to remember that, you'll never get 37 different things going, times a billion, okay? Concentrate on a few. And in general, Dharma practice is like that. You should know all the details, you should strive to perfect all the details, and you shouldn't ruin your meditation because you're worried about all the details, okay? So do as much as your mind can handle right now. And if it's just 2 or 3 of those offering objects, we'll make them very sweet and very beautiful. Remember what they're made of. Okay, and don't worry about it. Don't try to overdo it. Okay, step back a little bit. Do the 3 or 4 offerings that you remember as you recite it. Make them very clear. Make sure they're made of your body and your goodness and the things you own, and offer them to Rinpoche's long life. It is possible to fool around with someone's lifespan. It's described in the Abhidharma Kosha, which is accepted by all Buddhist schools. So it'll work, okay? So we got to concentrate. Try to concentrate really hard on the energy going down Turnpike, Highway 9, Howell, New Jersey, reaching Rinpoche while he's sitting there. He's probably watching the news right now, okay? And make sure that that energy goes into his heart and keeps him alive for long life, okay? So if we all do it, if all our minds work together, then I think it will have some effect, okay? We'll try it. After you dump it, to Leon loves
생각보고 이게 온 바자문에
much wine. And me and my three brothers started throwing all the food at each other. And then my mom laughed like crazy. And then she stood up and said, I'm going to bed. And they're cleaning up. We have to dedicate it while we're still good.
Hey, Bob.
This is at the end of your book. Last page of your book. Okay, dedicate. Right?
Are there volunteers to clean up?
Excuse me?